Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and it is Labor Day in the US, and Bryson has just won his second FedEx Cup event. So let's get straight into it. Ryder Cup picks. So the US team will be making 3 of their 4 tomorrow, and the European team will be making, I believe, all 4 of them on Wednesday. So I think the American captain, Jim Furyk, has a far easier job than Thomas Bjorn with his European team. And I'm just going to go straight into the Americans. Bryson has to be picked. And I thought he had played himself off of the team because of the way he kind of imploded at the Porsche Open a couple months ago. So he really did just completely implode. I know there was video of him kind of having a bit of an implosion at the British Open as well, the Open on the practice ground. That doesn't faze me at all. You know, when you're working on the range, you know, you just get frustrated. I don't think you can ever judge anyone on that. But you can judge when someone can't get the job done on the course, but he's just come back and won 2 in a row. So he's kind of answered all those questions. I think you've then got to go Phil Mickelson. It's a shame he didn't qualify, but he's had a really good year. He's won, and more importantly with Phil, he makes loads of birdies. So if you need somebody in a better ball format, you've got to go Phil Mickelson. So I think he will be the second pick. And then the third one, yeah, no guesses who, Tiger Woods. And I think Tiger, you could worry about Tiger a little more than the other 2, to be honest, because you've got his health to consider. Can he play enough of these rounds? You know, 36 holes in one day is actually quite tough. With that compounded with playing all of these events in the FedEx Cup, will his body hold up? I think it will, and I think you can hide him enough. And I think he's a really nice pick with Phil Mickelson, because you can play Phil in the better ball. You can play Tiger in the foursome, so in the alternate shot. If he's feeling up to it, you can get him playing more. But I think even if you just use those 2 exclusively in those formats, you're going to be strengthening your team. So those are the 3 I think they will pick tomorrow. And then when Jim Furyk makes his last pick, I think he will go for Phenom. So I think Tony will get that last pick. For me, I thought Matt Kuchar might be someone you could blend into that side. He's a great person to team up with, maybe one of the younger players, but I don't think you can overlook Phenom. He's done fantastically in the majors this year, so he's proven that he can play well in a pressure environment. So I think that will be the 4. I think they'll do it in that order, unless somebody wins next week out of the blue and they make it seem like they have to steal that spot. I think that will be the 4. I think that leads to a very, very strong US side. So let's get on to the Europeans. I think the European side is a far harder task to pick. And the reason being is you've got some big names that haven't qualified, but they've gone a bit flat at the end of the year. You know, we'll start with Sergio, and I love Sergio. You know, he's one of my favourite players now. He was one of my favourite players when I was growing up. Can you justify picking him? Absolutely not. So I think he isn't even in the mix. I think you then have to go, and with the experience card, you have Stenson, that you're picking him on previous results. I don't think he's really done much this year, but I think Stenson is a great person to put in the side. I think he's great to be in that environment, and I think he's a natural partner for Justin Rose. Justin Rose is playing so well. I think you can justify picking someone for him to play with. So I think they will go Henrik. You've then got Paul Casey and Ian Poulter. And I would say Ian Poulter in particular, they both had brilliant starts to the season, and it was kind of a no-brainer that they were going to qualify. And then they've kind of then declined a little in the back end of the year. Poulter more so than Casey. I think you have to go Casey, and you can justify not going Casey because it's in Europe. He doesn't play in Europe that often, So you could argue you're almost bringing another American in terms of people being used to conditions. But I think he is a tenacious competitor, and you know, he's going to give it his all. So going on how well he did beginning of the season, took on Tiger and won his first PGA Tour event, and yeah, so we're going to pull Casey. I think you then have to go Ian Poulter, and again, Ian gets picked a lot on previous performances, but he had a awful time last year, thought he'd lost his card, and since they kind of rectified that and he got his card back, he has been very good, and he's always going to turn up for the fight. So I think you have to go for those three. And then the last one, I need to think about this. You know, Thomas Pieters has played well kind of the back end of the season, but I don't think he's been particularly consistent in the season, so he's not really my pick. Russell Knox has gone a bit quiet, but he's a fantastic player. He's done some great things in the US, but I'm not sure how Thomas Bjorn knows him. So again, I don't think you can go there. It's got to be Matt Wallace, hasn't it? It's got to be Matt Wallace. You know, broke a European Tour record last week, winning. I think he made 7 birdies in his last 8 holes. So that shows that the boy has got game and he can do it under pressure. And then I thought he just looked so calm and collected in that playoff, and he must have known in the back of his mind that playoff, if he wins, it's going to really give him a great opportunity to get that final pick. I think you can justify putting another rookie in. I know we've got quite a few in that European side, but that's why the other 3 I've gone for people with a bit more experience. I think you then get Matt Wallace in. I think he just, I don't know the guy personally, but he seems to be a nice bloke, someone you could get on with, and you just know he's going to give his all. So that is my European team. I think it's a harder test, and I think there might be differences to the 4 I've gone there. I'll be very surprised if there's a different name in the 4 picks for the US team. So get some comments down below. You've got to be excited about the Ryder Cup coming up. You know, me and Jimbo Jet Golf, we played the Golf National a mere month ago. It is such a cool and inspiring place. You know, I went with high expectations. It succeeded those expectations. Seeing all the stands go up is gonna be the best sporting event of the year. But would you take some different personnel to the people that I have just said in this video? Get your comments down below. Hope to catch you soon.